I recently came across the term adjustment disorder. In this video, I'm going to tell you what it is, why I think I have it, and why I think you have it too. A very quick disclaimer, I am not a therapist. The information I offer in this video is based on my life and my own experience, and it is meant to bring awareness and some relief to people who are experiencing the same things that I am. It is not intended to provide medical or mental health advice. I don't know about you, but I remember exactly where I was on New Year's Eve 2020. I was partying with this guy. I remember as the fireworks were going off, he said,
2020 is gonna be the best year ever!
Man, was he wrong. The last year and a half, my mental state got so bad, especially the last few months. There was a long period of time when I would just come home from work, lie in my bed, and stay there until the next morning when I had to get up for work. I was experiencing a lot of unhappiness, and it was almost like I was mourning the person that I used to be. When I look back at photos and footage from 2017, 2018, I kind of don't even recognize the person that I used to be. It's like looking at a completely different person. Over the last year and a half, I got so consumed by my unhappiness that I even stopped singing. The one thing that used to bring me so much joy failed to do that. It also failed to relieve me of the psychological pain that I was experiencing. Anyway, the decline of my mental health inevitably led to the decline of my physical health. Towards the end of last year, I had to go to the hospital because I was experiencing episodes of dizziness and nausea, and I had to have my blood pressure monitored for 24 hours. Turns out I did have a bit of high blood pressure and I had a severe vitamin D deficiency. It was really scary, and I'm just thankful that it had not evolved to something a lot worse. The reason I'm telling you all of this is the other day I was reading an article and I came across the term adjustment disorder. I did a quick search on adjustment disorders and everything that I read really resonated with me. It was like somebody was describing what I was going through to a T. And I realized that after the year and a half that we've all had, I think everybody's experienced adjustment disorder to some extent. So, what is adjustment disorder? Adjustment disorders are stress-related conditions. You experience more stress than would normally be expected in response to a stressful or unexpected event. Most of the time, people adjust to such changes within a few months, but if you have an adjustment disorder, you continue to have emotional or behavioral reactions that can contribute to feeling anxious or depressed. This made so much sense to me, and it just intrigued me to keep reading to find out what the symptoms are of adjustment disorder. Signs and symptoms depend on the type of adjustment disorder and can vary from person to person. You experience more stress than would normally be expected in response to a stressful event, and the stress causes significant problems in your life. Adjustment disorders affect how you feel and think about yourself and the world, and may also affect your actions or behaviors. Some examples include feeling sad, hopeless, or not enjoying things you used to enjoy. Check. Frequent crying. Check. Worrying or feeling anxious, nervous, jittery, or stressed out. Check, 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 check. Trouble sleeping. Check. Lack of appetite. I kind of went in the opposite direction of that, but it's still a symptom. Difficulty concentrating. Absolutely. Feeling overwhelmed all the time. Difficulty functioning in daily activities. Yes. Avoiding important things such as going to work or paying bills. Unfortunately, I don't have the luxury of avoiding going to work or paying my bills, but it does feel really, really heavy having to get up in the morning, get in my car, and drive to work. Getting through the day has been really tough. Suicidal thoughts or behavior. I'm not gonna lie, I've had them once or twice. And the reason I've had them is not because I hated my life, it was just because I felt like, what was the point of everything? And it actually scared me that I went to that place, like I'd never been there before, but that feeling of just being completely indifferent to everything and everyone around me really scared me. And, you know, that was when I knew that I had to make some serious changes. Symptoms of an adjustment disorder start within 3 months of a stressful event and last no longer than 6 months after the end of the stressful event. However, persistent or chronic adjustment disorders can continue for more than 6 months, especially if the stressor is ongoing. The stressor is still ongoing, and I think until we get back some kind of normalcy in our lives, we're still going to experience the anxiety and the stress and the unhappiness that comes with being under this kind of stress. There are some things that we can do that could help us cope with the stress that we are all dealing with at the moment. Obviously, the first choice would be to see a therapist, but not all of us can afford therapists, so we kind of have to take matters into our own hands. The one thing that I found really helpful was to initiate a virtuous cycle of things that make me feel good. The only problem with virtuous cycles is that they don't start on their own. You kind of have to make the first move. You have to turn on the engine in order for it to start. But if you don't take that first step, then you're never going to get to the actual virtuous cycle. I think we should all try our best to do little things here and there that would make us feel good and kickstart the virtuous cycle so that we can kind of get back to being our normal selves. Now, the things that you include in your virtuous cycle should be things that make you feel good. For me, the first thing that I did was get off social media. Taking very long breaks from social media really helped my brain to kind of decompress. Today, the news are so negative. There's so many bad things happening around the world. There's so much pain and agony and negativity in the news. And, even though I want to do my part and I want to help, there is a limit to how much I can help. After doing everything that I can, I think the best thing for me was to kind of take a step back. I would read the news every 2 or 3 days just to stay informed and be aware of what's going on in the world. But for the most part, I just kind of disconnected, focused on making these YouTube videos. And, I figured that if I don't protect my mental health, no one else was going to do that for me, and no one can do that for me. The second thing I did was I started eating healthy. More vegetables, more protein, more healthy fats, and less carbs. What this did for my mood was kind of unbelievable. I know that eating healthy doesn't sound so appealing when we're going through something so difficult and we just want to have the kind of food that would comfort us, but food that is comforting actually has very negative effects on our health. And I'm not opposed to having comfort food. I do still have comfort food, but instead of using comfort food as my main source of nutrition, now it's just something that I use for entertainment, and my healthy meals are what I have to maintain my physical health and my mental health. I just found that it did wonders for me. The third thing I did was read inspiring books. Brené Brown and Eckhart Tolle have been my best friends the past few months. The next thing I did was incorporate some very short workouts into the days when I felt stressed. When you know that your workout is only 10 minutes long or 20 minutes long, you are more inclined to do it. Getting my body to move for a very short time every day made me aware of my body, and it made me feel alive just to feel my heart rate go up, to sweat a little bit. Doing these little workouts made me feel like I was getting rid of the negative energy that my body had accumulated over time. And every time I did one of these workouts, I felt a little bit better. And to be honest with you, most days I didn't really have the strength to do resistance workouts. But if you like to dance, then that's what you should be doing. Just listen to a playlist of your favorite songs and just dance in your bedroom. That's all you need to do. You don't even need to go to a gym. The last thing I did was work on projects that I was passionate about. For example, redoing my studio. This is the second time that I actually kind of revamped my studio, and I say this every time. I say that I'm super happy with the way my studio looks, and then I go ahead and change everything. The feeling that you get when you finish a project that you're so passionate about, and especially if the result turns out to be, something that you can be really happy with and you can be super proud of, it's so rewarding and it's so satisfying. So if there's something that you're passionate about and that you would like to do, get started. These are the things that I did to make me feel better, but you could have your own things that could make you feel better. Maybe gardening, maybe playing with your pet, maybe going for a walk, whatever it is, just do it. Even if you don't feel like it, All you have to do is kind of kickstart that virtuous cycle in order to make you feel a little bit better. I know that when I did all those things that I mentioned, I felt like I wanted to talk to my friends again. I wanted to sing again. I felt like I kind of got a little bit of my old self back. It's a daily practice though, and to be honest, I'm still kind of figuring it out myself. Some days I will feel better than others, but I know that until the main stressor is out of the picture, I will have to continue to be extra self-aware and keep checking in with the way that I'm feeling. I know that it's gonna last a little bit longer, so just gotta hang in there. If any of this resonated with you, I hope that you found this video useful and that it helped you in some kind of way. If it did, please hit the like button, as that would really help out my channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.